Hi, this video is just to clarify sewing direction and why you would choose the sewing direction and how you would choose it. So this is a very simple, easy design that doesn't have a lot going on, and we're going to say sew in zones. And we're going to say no. And when you're going to go into Zone Manager, don't place your zone first or you're going to lose the placement. So we're going to tap on Zone Manager. And now you have three choices here. You toggle between them. The first, uniform, back and forth, continuous. Okay, so the first one is uniform, okay? So if I select this one, I'm going to say, okay. I'm going to go ahead and place my zone. Okay, this is a selection where when a row or partial row finishes, then you're going to end your stitching and you're going to pull your bobbin back over here. I don't think you'd want to jump stitch all the way across your quilt, but that's the purpose for back and forth. For whatever reason, you want every row to start on the left, okay? Maybe you like the way your machine stitches better going from left to right. Of course, some of your stitches are going to be going right from left as part of your design, but if you just like stitching every row from left to right, this is the choice you want, okay? Because that's what's going to happen. You're going to end over here and then restart the next row on the left, okay? So we're going to go back into Zone Manager. And we're going to pick the next one, which is back and forth. Okay, we're going to say, okay. So with this choice, we'll just go ahead and place it real quick. So with this choice, what happens is a row or partial row stitches across, and then there's a jump stitch down before it goes back across. Okay, so a nice time to use back and forth is like on this quilt. If you're going to stitch between borders, you really don't want a straight line stitch down. You would want a jump stitch down so that you could stitch a row across, do a jump stitch down, and then it stitches back across. So that's an example of when you would choose that choice. Okay, we're going to go back in here and we're going to choose that third one, continuous. Say okay. And when you would choose this one is probably when you're stitching off the edges and you don't care about having a straight line stitch down, because that's what you're going to get with this. It's going to sew a row across, and then when it gets over here at the end of a row or partial row, it's going to just stitch straight down to start the next row across. If you had multiple rows, it would come back over here and it would do a straight line stitch and then come back across. So that's a nice choice when you're stitching off the edges, because it's just going to keep on going and not have to deal with the jump stitches. Okay, so we're going to go back into Zone Manager. And we're going to pick this first one, uniform, okay? Because now we need to deal with jump stitches. So I want to show you a few things about that. So we've placed our zone, and now we're going to go into Optimize. And I'm going to take this off just because I can see better. And I'm going to tap on Check for Breaks, and then I'm going to tap on Animate Stitching. And the reason I'm going to do this is because it's going to give me a choice for every single jump stitch. Do I want to take it out or leave it in, okay? Because these big long blue lines that are allowing me to start every row on the left, I need to leave that in because I want QCT to stop when it gets through at the right end. I want it to stop before it starts back on the left, okay? So, and if I were to choose Remove All, it will remove those two jump stitches that I want to keep. So that's why we're having to do this, is to keep those stitches. So I'm going to say Animate Stitching. And when this starts out, what you're looking at is the blue line that follows this dark blue. Do I want that to stay in? So do I want to remove this break? Yes, I want to have those straight line stitches across the top. So yes, yes, yes. Okay, now I'm connected to this blue line that's going to go back across. So do I want to remove this break? No, I don't, okay? So now there's a little stitch on the side there. Do I want to remove that break? Yes. And now I'm back going across the top. So yes, yes, remove it. Yes, remove. Yes, remove. And now I'm over here, but I'm not to that blue line. And if you need it, well, I can't. I was going to blow it up, but I can't do it while I'm active. So do you wish to remove this break? And I'm going to say yes, but now I'm to the little blue line that's going across. So now, no, I don't want to remove this. So this is a stitch down the side. So I'm going to say yes, remove that. And now I'm back to that little tiny stitch down the side. So yes. And then the ending question you always get, do you want to connect the first and last points? No. So now looking back at my screen, I see 2 jump stitches. And that's exactly what I want, is I want to end a row and then be able to start back on the left. So I'm going to say, okay, so now I can tell this is exactly what I want. And patterns are very different, and you have to watch them, because sometimes there's spots that you want to not let it stitch. And we're actually about to see that in our next choice. So now I'm going to tap on Zone Manager, yes, and we're going to do the back and forth, which gives us the jump stitches at the ends of rows. So I'm going to say okay, and I'll just go ahead and place this again. Okay, so now I want you to look at something here. Do you see that jump stitch from that little stitch right there down there? You would not want that stitch, because that would look funny. It would even be stitching across this part of the next row. So we're going to be careful when we come into Optimize with what we do and don't take out. I'm going to take that out so I can see better, and check for breaks and Animate Stitching. So yes, yes, take that out. Yes, take that out. But now look, we've gotten to here where it's going to, would we want that to stitch down? No, we wouldn't. That would be an out of place stitch. So do we wish to remove this break? No, we want to keep that in. But now we have another break. So I'm going to say, I think, and now see, sometimes it gets tricky and you're like, oh, what did I do? What did I do? Do I want to remove this break? So I'm going to say yes. But now I see, uh-oh, I didn't want to. So I say cancel. And let's see. If I say Animate Stitching, I'm hung. So see, now I've got to cancel out. So go back into Optimize, and I'm going to take that off. Check for breaks, Animate Stitching. So yes, yes, yes. And now no. And I learned the hard way. So I need to say, do I want to remove this break? No. So sometimes it's hard to see. And do I want to remove this break? Yes, 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 yes. And here I can tell there's a little stitch there. So I'm going to say yes to that. But now I'm to where that dark blue ends, and I know it's going to come down here. And that's the jump I want. So I'm going to say no. And here I'm going to say, and you know, actually maybe I should be saying, you know, yes. It's a matter of, do you or do you not want that little stitch? And it may be that you don't want any straight line stitch down. So I can say yes, or I can say no. So I'm gonna say no. And then I have a choice again. Do I want that straight line stitch down, or do I want a jump stitch? I'm over on the side. It's your quilt, and it's your choice of, do you need it or not? I'm gonna say yes. And then, do you wish to connect the first and last point? No. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and say okay. So now you see where your jump stitches are, but you also see where your straight line stitches are. And maybe you don't want that. So that's a choice. So so just be aware. Let me go back into Zone Manager, and I'm going to reselect it and just to kind of re-verify. When you tap on that optimize and you check for breaks and animate stitching, just be very aware that at the end of that dark blue line, that next light blue line that you see with the blue dot, that's the question you're answering, okay? That's what you're answering this question to. This stitch that's past that dark blue, is that the one I want to get rid of? So we're just going to cancel out, cancel. We're going to go back into Zone Manager, and we'll pick continuous. We're going to say okay, and we'll place this. So at this point, we'll go into optimize, and if we're already wanting it to stitch down the sides, then we're just going to say remove all. Do you want to connect first and last points? No. Okay. And now you see you're going to get straight line stitches across the top and down the sides. So that's what continuous is for. So I hope that this has been helpful. And when you go into Zone Manager, if you need a refresher, you can always tap on Help, and you can drag that down to where you see sewing direction. Okay. That's this right here. This help up at the top explains all of these, so you could read it there, or you could just tap on that little blue question mark, and it's going to explain to you how each of these work. So you have a lot of help for you right there by looking in there, but I hope that you have found this video helpful.